Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
But the wooden spoon from Thursday's elections undoubtedly went to UKIP. 4 years ago, the party won its best ever local government performance. This time, its support just melted away. UKIP's share of the vote plunged by as much as 18 percentage points, most obviously benefiting the Conservatives. So is it all over for the self-styled People's Army? We're joined now by the party's leader in the Welsh Assembly, Neil Hamilton. He's in Cardiff. Neil Hamilton, welcome. UKIP finished the local elections gaining the same number of councillors as the Rubbish Party. 1. I mean, that just about sums up UKIP's performance and prospects, doesn't it? Rubbish.
Well, we've been around a long time, haven't we, Andrew? And we've seen the tide come in, we've seen it go out, and we've seen it come in again. We're keeping calm and we'll carry on. We're in a bit of a kind of phony war at the minute. Talk, the negotiations on Brexit haven't begun. What we know from Theresa May is that in 7 years as Home Secretary and Prime Minister, she's completely failed to control immigration, which was one of the great driving forces behind the Brexit result. So I'm not really looking for any great success in controlling immigration from the Tories. And then I think a lot of people who have previously voted UKIP will be back in our part of the field again.
They don't seem to care about that at the moment. You mean your party lost 147 council seats. You gained 1. I mean, it's time to shut up shop, isn't it?
No, you're absolutely right. Voters are not focusing on other domestic issues at the minute. I think they've made up their minds that we're going into these negotiations in Brussels, and that Theresa May, as the Prime Minister, needs as much support as she can get. I think they're wrong in this respect, and it'd be much better to have a cohort of UKIP MPs to back her up. She was, of course, greatly helped by the intervention of Mr Juncker last week as well. The crass stupidity of the way the European Commission has tried to bully the British government. In those circumstances, the British people are only going to react in one way, aren't they? And they'll go the opposite way to what the Brussels establishment wants. So I think she's been very fortunate, as well as a very acute tactician in having this election now.
I'm struggling to see the way back for your party, because you're no longer a threat to the Tories in the south. Indeed, UKIP voters are flocking to the Tories in the south. You're no longer a threat to Labour in the north. It's the Tories who now look more of a threat to Labour in the north. So I see there is no route to progress, is there?
Well, the reality will be that once we're back on the domestic agenda again and the Brexit negotiations are concluded, we'll know what the outcome is, and the focus will be upon bread and butter issues. And we have all sorts of policies in our programme which the other parties can't match us on. I mean, the talk today is all about putting up taxes to put more money into the health service. You know, we would scrap half the foreign aid budget and put another 8 billion into the health service. No other party is saying that. I think these are policies which will be popular with ordinary working people.
Is Paul Nuttall to blame for what's happened, or would the meltdown have happened no matter who was leader?
Oh, I think we are seeing what you might call cosmic forces beyond the control of any individual at the moment. It's certainly not Paul Nuttall's fault. He's only been in the job 6 months, and half of that time, of course, he was fighting a by-election. And UKIP has to beef up its organisation, and we have to become more professional than we have been recently. Yeah. It's been not a brilliant year for UKIP one way or another, as you know. Yeah. But I think that our prospects in the future are certainly very rosy, because I don't believe the Tories will deliver on many of the promises they're now making.
Except, I mean, the Welsh Assembly elections aren't until 2021. That's what you're a member of. Yeah. By that point, you will have no MEPs because we'll be out on the timetable. On current showing, you'll have no MPs. I mean, you could end up being UKIP's most senior elected representative.
Well, that's
why you're hanging on.
That would be a turn up for the books, wouldn't it? But
you're not thinking of going back to the Tories?
Absolutely not, because the Tories are not promoting the policies that I believe in, which you'll see in the UKIP manifesto when it's published very shortly.
Well, your leaders talked mainly about burqas and female genital mutilation.
No, he hasn't talked mostly about it.
Well, he's done a lot of it.
That was one day at the beginning of the campaign. Now, you'll find that when we have our manifesto launched, we've got a whole range of policies, not only on immigration, which I spoke about a moment ago, and also on foreign aid, but also, for example, scrapping green taxes to cut people's electricity bills by £300 a year on average. So there are lots of popular policies that we've got. We've just got to articulate them.
And we'll hear more of that in the 4 weeks to come. But let me just finally put a quote from Mr. Nuttall to you. He said, if the price of Britain leaving the EU is a Tory advance after taking up this patriotic cause, that's a price UKIP is prepared to pay. I mean, that sounds like a surrender statement, doesn't it?
No, I think it's just a statement of fact. I mean, our main objective is to get out of the EU and to have a full Brexit. And that's why UKIP came into existence in the first place 20-odd years ago. Once that has been achieved, then we go back to the normal political battle lines.
All right. Neil Hamilton in Cardiff, thank you very much for joining us.
I've been getting away with it all.